And welcome everyone. Good morning. Morning. So the first thing that we do whenever we sit down to meditate is to establish our intention, our motivation. So let's just take a moment to center ourselves in our heart, in our compassionate motivation to save all sentient beings from suffering. And then we'll say the 7-line prayer. Organ yogi num jansam pamage sa dompola yatsen chogi ngodrupne pamajong ne jesurak kordu kandro mangpokor Ketki Jesu dak drupki Jinji lok cheer shake su so Guru Pama city home Organ yogi num jansam Pamage sa dompola Yatsen chogi ngodrupne Pamajong ne jesurak Kordu kandro mangpokor Ketki jesu dak drupki Jinji lok cheer shake su so Guru Pama city home Organ yogi num jansam Pamage sa dompola Yatsen chogi ngodrupne Pamajong ne jesurak Kordu kandro mangpokor Ketki Jesu dak drupki Jinji lok cheer shake su so Guru Pama city home. So today we'll practice our 3 different kinds of meditation, starting with Shamatha meditation or calm abiding meditation. And Jetsunma has taught that meditation is the natural state of mind when our minds are relaxed and stable and open. So even though this might not be our usual experience of our mind, it is our natural state of mind. So we're not creating anything new when we meditate. We're not trying to manufacture something or fabricate something or like wallpaper over ourselves with some idea of some like perfect meditator or blissful person. You know, we're not trying to cover up what we are or make anything new. We are kind of unearthing what's already there. We're starting to pay attention and familiarize ourselves with the natural state of mind that's already there, kind of the water in which we live, like how the fish don't know the water. And so we're paying attention to the water and bringing our attention to that. And, we're starting to familiarize ourselves with that. And that water of our mind, usually our experience is just so tumultuous and with like the waves of our emotions crashing every which way and throwing us around and chasing all these different thoughts that bounce around. And when our mind is really agitated like that, it throws us around instead of us steering our ship. But through this shamatha meditation, we can create space in the mind, which helps to balance the emotions. And it's kind of like when you have a snow globe and you have it all shaken up and the snow's everywhere and it's crazy. But then when you let it sit, all of that snow settles down to the bottom and then you can see clearly through it. And similarly, or like with water, again, when you're splashing in the creek and all the dirt stirred up and it's muddy and you can't see through it. But then if you let the water settle, everything settles and the water becomes clear and you can see clearer. So, by using this meditation to settle the mind, to stabilize the mind, to create space in the mind, then we are able to have more emotional balance, and this spaciousness is the first step in the development of bodhicitta, the compassionate wish to free all sentient beings from suffering. Which bodhicitta is not just compassion, like caring for others, it is also hand in hand with the wisdom of understanding the nature of reality and the nature of those beings suffering. So again, as we settle the mind, then we can see clearer and we can actually, connect with wisdom because we are not so blinded by all of our distractions. So we can actually settle the mind and connect with our wisdom, nature, and compassionate heart. So all we do for this is rest our attention on the breath. Very, very simple. So taking a comfortable seat, you can do this meditation in a chair or cross-legged on the floor. We place our hands in our lap. Traditionally, we hold one hand in the other with the thumbs touching, and then place the hands so the thumbs are just below our navel. You can also just rest your hands on your thighs. And then check in with your posture. You want your spine to be straight. You have one vertebra stacked on the next, like a stack of coins. So our shoulders are back. Our elbows are out a little bit away from our body, so we have lots of room to breathe. We're sitting up with dignity, but also very relaxed. Our body is comfortable and relaxed. And our eyes remain open, looking downwards. So you can imagine a line following the bridge of your nose and extending down to the floor. And just find a point along that line where it's comfortable to rest your gaze. And then place the tip of your tongue right behind your front teeth. It's like saying the letter L. Allow yourself to relax completely and settle into your natural rhythm of breathing. Then put a very light attention on your breath. Don't try to control it at all. Just breathe naturally with the most gossamer thin attention on your breath. It's like taking your pulse. You're not putting any pressure on it, just observing it. Your attention is like a feather, gently riding on the surface of your breath. As you meditate, thoughts will come up, and that's okay. When thoughts come up, just let them go like bubbles popping on the surface of a pond. Don't even look to see what they are. Just let them pop and return to your breath. Your meditation is not lost by hearing your thoughts, but by following them down the road. So as soon as you notice yourself distracted and following a thought, just drop it and return to your breath. Your attention is like a feather gently riding on the surface of your breath. Hello, welcome. So that is our Shamatha meditation. We often don't realize how addicted we are to our own thoughts and chasing our thoughts. And when you're addicted to something, you have very little space in your mind. Like if you have a sugar craving and you really want cookies and you're just like cookies, 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 and you just have very little space. And you think about that and you're like, oh, let me think about something else. But that cookies, they're like right there. They keep coming at you and you have very little space and everything is reaction. Well, let me not think about cookies. I don't want to eat those. Oh, you know what I mean? And it's not, you get very tight and wound up and stuck. With the shamatha meditation, we are just not following that pattern of acting on that. Oh, I want to think about cookies. We're just like, fine, Cookies come up, cookies go. We just stay there with the breath. Maybe we think of cookies, maybe we don't. We stay with the breath. And over time, that weakens that habit of jumping and following the thought or rejecting the thought. But it weakens that habit of having to react to the thought or chase the thought. And then we can have more spaciousness. And then all of that cookies, it gets quieter. It's just not as demanding on our minds. So over time, it just really helps us get over that addiction to our own thoughts. Which really helps then when we want to turn our attention to others. So for this next practice, the giving and receiving practice, or Tonglen, we are putting others above ourselves. And this practice helps us to overcome our self-cherishing and generate loving kindness, open our hearts to loving kindness, and transform suffering into well-being. So it's hard to think of others when we're so wrapped up in ourselves. So we settle the mind, stabilize the mind, and then we can open our hearts to others. So for this one, for this meditation, we visualize taking on the sufferings of others and sending them our happiness. So we start by sitting in meditation posture and envisioning one or two beings for whom you easily feel compassion. So someone you just love unreservedly, it's so easy to love this person. Maybe they're your child or a parent or a friend, or sometimes animals are easier to love. Could be a dog or cat. Anyone you just really easily feel compassion for. And contemplate the ways in which they suffer. Contemplate their suffering and put yourself in their shoes, imagining what their experience must be like and giving rise to compassion. So we'll just do that for a minute. And cultivate in your heart a strong desire to relieve their suffering and secure their happiness. And then bring your attention to your breath, following the natural rhythm of your breath. As you breathe in, visualize that as you inhale through your nose, you take in all of the causes and conditions of their suffering in the form of black smoke, and imagine that they become completely free of misery. As you breathe out, visualize that you are sending and they are receiving all of your positive and loving qualities and all conceivable sources of enduring happiness as radiant, pure light, bringing them limitless joy. If it's helpful, you might think as you breathe in, may you be free of suffering. And as you breathe out, may you be happy. One or two people for whom you feel intense anger or aversion, and envision them in front of you. And again, contemplate their experience. Put yourself in their shoes and think about the ways in which they suffer, and and give rise to compassion. Cultivate in your heart the strong desire to relieve their suffering and secure their happiness. And then bring your attention to your breath and following the natural rhythm of your breath. As you breathe in, visualize as you inhale through your nose, taking in all of the causes and conditions of their suffering in the form of black smoke, and they become completely free of misery. Breathing out, visualize that you are ascending and they are receiving all of your positive and loving qualities and all conceivable sources of enduring happiness as radiant pure light, bringing them limitless joy. If it's helpful, you might think as you breathe in, may you be free of suffering, and as you breathe out, may you be happy. And then now expand your visualization to include all those beings for whom you have similar feelings of anger and aversion. Everyone you don't like. They're all in front of you. And again, breathing in, visualize inhaling through your nose, taking in all of the karmic causes and conditions of their suffering as black smoke, freeing them from misery. And breathing out, sending them all of your positive, loving qualities, all sources of happiness as radiant, pure light, bringing them limitless joy. Right. The last meditation that we'll be doing today is a guided meditation by Jetsunma. This is called the Light Expansion Prayer. And Jetsunma has taught that all of the suffering we experience, all of the pain and trauma that we experience in our life, ultimately the root of it is our belief that we are separate. And so this meditation helps us to overcome that illusion of separation and come to understand our true nature and our true oneness with all beings and all reality. Let us become still. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Again. Let us center deep within. Center deep within. Deep within to the presence of the Absolute. And there is radiance. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the physical body. And all of the physical body is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill our beings on all dimensions. And all that we are is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill everyone here. And everyone here on all dimensions is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this building. And all of this building is filled with the light of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this nation. And the government of this nation is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. And the people of this nation are one life. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace planet Earth. All nations and all governments are filled with the presence of the Absolute, and there is peace. And the 8 billion are one life, radiant. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill this galaxy. All planets, all stars, and all life forms are within the embrace of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the universe. All dimensions and all kingdoms are filled with the presence of the Absolute. And in all the universe, there is only one life. Now, as we return our consciousness back to physical form, we continue to embrace all that is and to know union, that we are one. So now at the end of our practice, we close with dedication prayers, so that whatever merit we have accumulated through this practice, we give it all away. Are there any more? Ariana, do you have some prayers that you could hand back to them? Thank you. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I have accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice, and all that I will ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and bodhisattvas all together, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, and whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. All right. Well, thank you all for being here today. Thank you. So we have in a few minutes at 12 p.m., we have Ryo Sangchud in here to the smoke offering practice. You're welcome to stay for that. It's a 20-minute practice, a very beautiful one. And for those online, you can join on Zoom, and you can find the link to that on tara.org on our events calendar. Also coming up tomorrow, we have our Sunday meditation class, Dharma Talk and Meditation with Kempo Karze, and that's at 11:30 tomorrow. And then at 2 p.m. tomorrow, we have our drum circle. We meet at the entrance to the Peace Park, and we drum for rain to bring. Right now, this area is in a pretty extreme drought, and so we are praying to call forth rain for this area and any other areas experiencing drought. And then next weekend, we have a Nyungne retreat. And Nyungne is an incredible practice, a very powerful practice using fasting and silence and prostrations to purify obscurations, purify the body and the environment, and bring peace to the world. So if you're interested in Nyungne retreat, then you can sign up on tara.org. There's more information there. It's a 3-day retreat and kind of intense, but a really amazing practice. And then we've got more retreats coming up all year long, and lots of events coming up. So you can find out more about that on tara.org. And at the end of the month, the weekend after the Nyungne retreat is then the weekend of the 30th and 31st. The 30th, we have a poetry event at the Koi Ponds. So it'll be an event exploring the poetry of Buddhism over the past 2,500 years. And I'll be at the Koi Ponds on Saturday the 30th, 4 p.m. And then the 31st is Sagadawa Duchin, which is one of our biggest holidays in Buddhism. So we'll have a day of practices then as well. So yeah, tara.org has all the info. So yeah, thank you all.